Good evening, you're watching Mission 2024. I'm Preeti Choudhary. Let me quickly take you through the top stories making headlines this hour. Trinamool MP Mahua Moitra hits out at businessman Hiranandani's affidavit, says she's ready to be quizzed by CBI and ethics panel. TMC adopts a wait-and-watch policy. Congress RJD support Mahua Moitra. Suspense continues over Israel's Gaza ground invasion. Netanyahu asks troops to be ready. India Today is now on Palestinian soil, reporting first from the West Bank. Canada withdraws 41 of its diplomats after India's ultimatum on parity. Services at Mumbai, Bangalore and Chandigarh consulates stopped. India accuses Canada of interfering in internal affairs once again. No relief for Aam Aadmi Party Neta Sanjay Singh in the Delhi liquor gate probe. Delhi High Court quashes his plea, challenging arrest, says there are no grounds to interfere in ED probe. JDS Supremo H.D. Devagowda claims that his party got a green light for its alliance with BJP from his other ally, Kerala's Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan. Pinarayi Vijayan rejects this claim, calls Devagowda a liar. BCCI confirms Hardik Pandya will miss the game versus New Zealand due to an injury. Pandya will instead join the squad in Lucknow for the game against England. JDS ties up with the Bharatiya Janata Party before the Lok Sabha elections and the JDS now in a massive battle with its own ally in Kerala, the left. Loggerheads over Devagowda's explosive claims on the JDS-NDA alliance. A political row has now erupted in Kerala after JDS Supremo H.D. Devagowda claimed that Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan had greenlit his party's alliance with the BJP in Karnataka to protect its interests, asserting that all state units of the JDS, including Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra, had provided their consent to ally with the BJP. Now, the former Prime Minister went on to say that Kerala's left government's Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan had given full concurrence to move forward in Karnataka with the BJP to save the party. Pinarayi Vijayan, who's also part of the India bloc, has now refuted all the claims by Devagowda, terming it a delusional fantasy. Meanwhile, India bloc is up in arms over JDS's revelation, and Congress is indicating towards an unholy nexus between the CPM and the BJP.
ಕೇರಳದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೇರಳದ ಎಡಪಂಥೀಯ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮೂರು ಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವ ಈ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಒಪ್ಪಿಗೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
This is a very clear case. There is an unholy nexus between the CPM leadership in Kerala and the BJP leadership in Centre. That is why even the Sitaram Yechury was supporting Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party to constitute the NDA. But unfortunately, the Kerala CPM leaders put pressure on CPM leadership in Centre not to send a delegate of CPM to the NDA front. That is also an evidence for this unholy nexus between the BJP and the Kerala CPM leaders.
So now we have to, we really apprehend whether there is any link between the Congress and the BJP in this instance, because the Congress wanted such a statement to make an allegation. Congress has no, what you call, locus standi to make such an allegation, because the Congress working committee member is having his own son in his house as the BJP spokesman. So there is no such link in our party.
I want to immediately connect to my colleague Annaga Kesav joining us live from Bengaluru. Annaga, for viewers who are unacquainted, first explain the dynamics between the JDS and the left where Kerala is concerned, because allies there. However, Mr. Vijayan is also part of the India bloc alliance.
Preeti, in Kerala, there are two candidates from JDS who are elected representatives, and one of them, Krishnan Kuti, is a minister, and the other one is an MLA. That is the relationship between JDS and the left in Kerala, who are alliance partners. And remember, Preeti, this is a huge embarrassment for JDS in Karnataka, which is already exploding. First was the alliance between JDS and BJP, which CM Ibrahim came out publicly opposing and saying that he is the party president. He is not a puppet. He has a say in the party. And second was the mass resignation of the minority leaders of JDS, who are actually a majority in the party. And the third is ousting of JDS State's President CM Ibrahim by H.D. Kumaraswamy and H.D. Devegowda. And now is the biggest one, the icing of the cake. That is Chief Minister of Kerala publicly tweeting that JDS is living in its own delusional fantasy of a world if it thinks that he supports its alliance with BJP for Lok Sabha. A lot, Preeti, on this, on Kumaraswamy's plate to fix. He has a lot to fix on his table. First is to pacify the minority leaders who are, first of all, very disgruntled with the alliance with BJP. And second, they are also very disappointed with the ousting of CM Ibrahim. And the third is, how is he going to mend his optics? The whole Karnataka now thinks JDS is a sinking ship. It is allying with BJP for the sake of survivability.
All right, thanks Anaga for joining us with that quick update. Let's shift focus right now from Karnataka to the state of war ensuing in Telangana, heating up before D-Day. 30th of November is when Telangana goes to vote, and all political parties, the key stakeholders at loggerheads. BJP, BRS and Congress have kicked off their campaign. During a roadshow in Telangana's Bhupalpalli, Rahul Gandhi said that BJP, BRS and the AIM are in the same boat. Rahul's statement triggered a political storm with BJP and BRS hitting back. Take a look at this report.
The battle for Telangana has kicked off with a high-octane political showdown. In a triangular contest for power, BJP, BRS and Congress have now hit the ground running with their campaign. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi are leading the Congress's campaign, hoping to boost the grand old party's chances at ousting the KCR government in Telangana. From a temple visit to a bus yatra, the Gandhis are pulling all stops to woo voters for the Congress. But it's one taunt by Rahul Gandhi that has created political ripples in Telangana.
BRS, BJP और MIM को देखिए, ये तीनों के तीनों कांग्रेस पार्टी पर आक्रमण करते हैं। देश में बीजेपी विपक्ष के नेताओं पर आक्रमण करती है, केस करती है, सीबीआई लगाती है, ईडी लगाती है, इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट लगाती है। मैं आपसे सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं, आपके चीफ मिनिस्टर पे कोई इंक्वायरी क्यों नहीं हो रही है?
A team, B team, C team. It's all going down now between the three parties after this comment by Rahul Gandhi. Telangana Minister K.T. Ramarao lashed out at Rahul with a C team jibe.
मैं तो कहता हूं हम बी टीम नहीं है, आप सी टीम हो, आप चोर टीम हो। क्यों भारत जोड़ो यात्रा एक पलटी ले लिया, वहां से महाराष्ट्र से राइट टर्न ले लिया, डिटोर ले लिया और सीधे चले गए अपना दिल्ली चले गए। क्यों गुजरात क्यों नहीं गए? डर रहे थे क्या कि कोई और चीज की डर थी, कि कोई अंडरस्टैंडिंग थी? आज मैं राहुल जी को आश्वासन देता हूं, आपसे ना हो पाएगा, कांग्रेस से नहीं हो पाएगा कि बीजेपी को हराने की ताकत या दम आप में नहीं है, आपकी पार्टी में नहीं है, ये पूरा देश जानता है। आप खुद अमेठी से हार गए, आप क्या हराओगे?
The C team taunt was also further amplified by BRS after this video of a Karnataka Congress minister sitting in a pool of cash went viral.
In Hyderabad, Karnataka Congress ministers stationed here and found in visuals with crores of rupees is definitely raising a doubt of suspicion that Karnataka Congress is funding with all the commission money they have collected for the assembly elections here to send for their Telangana Congress party.
The BJP meanwhile has come up with its political theory of a Congress-BRS जुगलबंदी.
कौन किसका बी टीम है समझना चाहिए। कांग्रेस पार्टी का बी टीम है बीआरएस पार्टी, बीआरएस पार्टी का बी टीम है कांग्रेस पार्टी। मनमोहन सिंह सरकार में केसीआर मिनिस्टर थे, राजशेखर रेड्डी जी का सरकार में बीआरएस का एमएलए सत्ता में थे। कौन किसका बी टीम है?
Rahul Gandhi now has become the number one target of every political rival. Even before he touched down in Telangana, KCR's daughter K. Kavita dismissed his high decibel campaign and its impact. Calling him Election Gandhi, Kavita laughed off any Congress challenge.
राहुल जी को मैं तो राहुल गांधी जी नहीं बोलूँगी, मैं तो इलेक्शन गांधी जी ही बोलूँगी, क्योंकि सिर्फ और सिर्फ वो इलेक्शन के समय प्रदेश में आते हैं, अलग अलग तरीके के बात करते चले जाते हैं। बाकी के समय जब तेलंगाना के हकों का हरण होता है, तेलंगाना के हक में जो भी आने चाहिए नहीं आते, उस समय वो कभी भी तेलंगाना के जनता के साथ खड़े नहीं हुए हैं।
The big guns of every party have now kicked off their campaigns, sounding the bugle of an all-out political tussle in Telangana in the countdown to November 30th. Bureau Report, India Today.
I'm tracking this election in Hyderabad. Joining me, my colleague Abdul Bashir. Abdul, you know, in claims of A team versus B team, saying that there is leveraging charges of a C team, within all these teams, Abdul, which team has the most cohesive campaign right now?
Well, all the three top parties that we see in Telangana, be it BRS, BJP and Congress, have put the biggest guns on ground, campaigning every district, every corner of Telangana. We've seen Rahul Gandhi, who has kicked off his campaign, Vijayabari Bus Yatra 3 days ago, and today, a few minutes ago, it has concluded at here in Armoor of Nizamabad. So now in Telangana, if we see, Congress had picked up a weaker point where Congress is said to be weak in the northern Telangana, where Rahul Gandhi had spent 3 days campaigning in these 4 districts, that is Warangal, Karimnagar, Bhupalapalli and Nizamabad. And today he has lashed out at the KCR government, calling it as a corrupt and family rule government that is going on. And if Congress is voted to power, there are several promises that Congress party Rahul Gandhi today has made will be fulfilled for these, especially these districts, and also for the whole Telangana. Be it all the sugar factories will reopen in these districts if Congress is voted to power, to several other promises that he has made. While we talk about the BJP has also started its campaign. All the top guns are landing, from Smriti Irani, who is right now campaigning in Dubbaka and Hyderabad as well, to other ministers who are right now in Telangana. They are doing their best to reach out to people, from door-to-door campaign to public rallies to meetings, where they are lashing out at each other, where KCR from the BRS is organizing 2 to 3 meetings in every constituency. KTR is touring every 2 to 3 constituencies every day, where he is reaching out to people, talking about development, talking about the work they had done for the past 10 years. Now here comes when the battle is right now that we see is that Rahul Gandhi today has stated now the BJP and the MIM are out of the game, and it is only a fight between the BRS and the Congress, is what he said. Now he's also lashed out at these 3 parties, stating that they three are together, be the BRS, BJP and MIM are helping each other against the Congress in Telangana.
Okay. All right, Abdul, appreciate you joining us. Whoever is Team A of Team B or Team C of Team B or Team A, one thing our viewers can be rest assured, where the ABC of Telangana elections are concerned, you're going to get it first. And the deep dive in terms of analysis, ground reportage right here on the network. Thanks, Abdul, for joining us. Let's now cut across from the state of Telangana to the state of Madhya Pradesh and the India Alliance. A new fight within the alliance unfolding in poll-bound MP, this time between the Congress and the Samajwadi Party. Now, the Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav hinted at a rethink on staying on in the India Alliance, accusing the Congress of fooling other parties after seat-sharing talks fall flat, at least where the state election of Madhya Pradesh is concerned, where on 18 seats, the SP will face off with the Congress.
Big divide in the opposition alliance, India. Akhilesh Yadav has launched a scathing attack on the Congress after the Grand Old Party refused to share seats with the Samajwadi Party in poll-bound Madhya Pradesh. The Congress and SP are now pitted against each other in 18 assembly constituencies in the state.
मुझे ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि आखिरकार कांग्रेस को दूसरे दलों को साथ लेने में क्या परेशानी है? क्या मैं इंडिया गठबंधन के सहारे कह दूं कि मध्य प्रदेश में मैं छोड़ रहा हूं सब कुछ? तो आखिरकार ये कार्यकर्ता नेता क्या करेंगे? मैं आज भी कहता हूं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हराने के लिए समाजवादी पार्टी काम करेगी।
Akhilesh Yadav has threatened to rethink his alliance with the Congress, which could have massive repercussions for the India alliance in Uttar Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh Congress chief Kamal Nath has rubbished Akhilesh's threat.
बहुत बढ़िया माहौल है, सब जगह लोग फोन करके कह रहे हैं, बहुत उत्साह है और दिखती संख्या से हम सोच रहे थे हम जीतेंगे, अब हम उससे ज्यादा जीतेंगे।
सर, अखिलेश यादव ने आरोप लगाया कि
अरे भाई छोड़ो अखिलेश।
UP Congress chief Ajay Rai meanwhile has urged the SP to back his party in Madhya Pradesh as the fight is between the Congress and BJP in the state.
अगर मुझसे कोई गलती हुई होगी, मैंने कोई ऐसी बात बोली होगी तो उसके लिए मैं क्षमा प्रार्थी हूं, पर अगर आपको भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हराना है, रोकना है पूरे देश में, तो आप कांग्रेस का समर्थन करिए, साथ दीजिए, ताकि निश्चित तौर से हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हरा सकें और मजबूती से संदेश दे सकें।
Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan claims the opposition unity project has now failed.
ये अजीब गठबंधन है, दिल्ली में दोस्ती और राज्यों में कुश्ती। अब मध्य प्रदेश में देख लीजिए, कांग्रेस लड़ रही है, सपा लड़ रही है, आप भी बाहें चढ़ा के सामने खड़ी है। काहे का गठबंधन है?
The Congress is fighting a battle of survival in the Hindi heartland. Will its inability to forge tie-ups with like-minded parties damage its prospects? Is the question now. Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, trust us to keep you ahead on all political developments, especially right now with what's going on in the state of Madhya Pradesh, which is leading to a larger implication of the Samajwadi Party rethinking its role in the India alliance or its position itself. A quick break, stay with us. On the other side is To The Point.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Get ready for an immersive journey into the heart of news, politics and insights that matter. Join India Today now on WhatsApp with the #1 election team as we gear up for the upcoming assembly elections. Scan the QR code.
Join India Today now on WhatsApp. Follow these steps. Open WhatsApp on your phone. Check for a new updates tab. Select Find Channel and type India Today. After finding the channel, tap the Follow button.
Truckloads of stockpiled aid are waiting to be transported into Gaza from Egypt through the Rafah crossing. Security forces say that machinery to repair roads has already been sent through in preparation, as more than 100 trucks await. Rafah, the only crossing not controlled by Israel, has been out of operation since the first days of the conflict. But the United States and Egypt have been pushing for a deal with Israel. On Wednesday, the White House said it had been agreed for up to 20 trucks to pass through, with hopes for more later, so long as those supplies do not reach Hamas. Most of Gaza's 2.3 million residents depend on aid. According to the United Nations, before the conflict started on October 7th, about 100 trucks daily were providing humanitarian relief to the enclave. But the upcoming arrival of aid is unlikely to raise spirits. Airstrikes and acute shortages of food, medicine and water are worsening the humanitarian situation in the Strip. In the city of Khan Yunis, the wounded, which includes UN workers and children alike, are being brought into hospital. These people have been injured as a result of airstrikes hitting a house on Thursday morning. Also in the city, those displaced from their homes have sought refuge in a wedding hall. This lady is among them and says the hall should be used for celebration, not as a place to mourn. Israel has said it will continue a blockade of humanitarian aid from Israel into Gaza until hostages held by Hamas are returned. Israel's bombardment and siege of Gaza is in retaliation for a devastating Hamas incursion into Israel on October 7th, during which 1,400 people were killed and hostages taken. Israel and Egypt have upheld a blockade of Gaza since Hamas took control of the territory in 2007, tightly controlling the movement of goods and people.
I completely believe that the Central Bureau of Investigation and the NIA should take up this issue and see how far this woman went on to violate our national security and breach our national security, because all her questions in the parliament were in violation or were absolutely neglecting our national security. And her raving and ranting and obsession about Gautam Adani, absolutely, I mean, it all rings true. And I believe that the Central Bureau of Investigation, the NIA, and especially the Speaker of the Lok Sabha should take cognizance of her crime.
कि ऐसा बच्चा भी समझ सकता है कि हीरानंदानी को पूरा तरह से घेर लिया। उन्ना हीरानंदानी बच्चा था क्या, जो क्वेश्चन बना के देता था और पासवर्ड लॉगिन क्या महुआ मोइत्रा देने गई थी क्या? ये अडानी के खिलाफ महुआ मोइत्रा के थ्रू बुलवा रहा था। जब इसको चारों तरफ से घेर लिया, ब्लैकमेल किया जा रहा, डरवाया धमकाया जा रहा, तो अपने स्टैंड को वापस ले लिया है।
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest. Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
The battle for Telangana has kicked off with a high-octane political showdown. In a triangular contest for power, BJP, BRS and Congress have now hit the ground running with their campaign. Congress MP Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi are leading the Congress's campaign, hoping to boost the grand old party's chances at ousting the KCR government in Telangana. From a temple visit to a bus yatra, the Gandhis are pulling all stops to woo voters for the Congress. But it's one taunt by Rahul Gandhi that has created political ripples in Telangana. A team, B team, C team. It's all going down now between the three parties after this comment by Rahul Gandhi. Telangana Minister K.T. Ramarao lashed out at Rahul with a C team jibe. The C team taunt was also further amplified by BRS after this video of a Karnataka Congress minister sitting in a pool of cash went viral. The BJP meanwhile has come up with its political theory of a Congress-BRS Jugalbandi. Rahul Gandhi now has become the #1 target of every political rival. Even before he touched down in Telangana, KCR's daughter K. Kavita dismissed his high decibel campaign and its impact. Calling him Election Gandhi, Kavita laughed off any Congress challenge.
राहुल जी को मैं तो राहुल गांधी जी नहीं बोलूँगी, मैं तो इलेक्शन गांधी जी ही बोलूँगी, क्योंकि सिर्फ और सिर्फ वो इलेक्शन के समय प्रदेश में आते हैं, अलग अलग तरीके के बात करते चले जाते हैं। बाकी के समय जब तेलंगाना के हकों का हरण होता है, तेलंगाना के हक में जो भी आने चाहिए नहीं आते, उस समय वो कभी भी तेलंगाना के जनता के साथ खड़े नहीं हुए हैं।
The big guns of every party have now kicked off their campaigns, sounding the bugle of an all-out political tussle in Telangana in the countdown to November 30th. Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest. Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
Co-powered by PolicyBazaar.com. हर family होगी insured.
Good evening, viewers. You're watching To The Point. I'm Preeti Choudhary. Now, there's been a twist of sorts in allegations that TMC MP Mahua Moitra took bribes for raising questions which were anti-Adani group in Parliament. What has been the twist? Well, after saying that all these allegations were nonsensical or were untrue, businessman industrialist Darshan Hiranandani has now made a sensational U-turn in an affidavit that was leaked to the press, which he submitted with the Ethics Committee in Parliament. He has claimed that these allegations were in fact true. Hiranandani's letter stated that TMC MP shared her Lok Sabha login credentials, which the businessman used to draft and post questions on the Adani issue. However, he doesn't say he bribed her to raise the questions, but he did say that he did give her expensive gifts to be on the right side of her and also paid for the renovation of her new office. Meanwhile, in midst of all of this, Mahua Moitra, the TMC MP, who is right now in her constituency in West Bengal, has outrightly denied these charges. She says that this is a political vendetta and that the government put a gun to Darshan Hiranandani's head to change his stand, because just a few days ago he had said that these allegations were untrue. This is the full report.
Democratic framework with
The cash for query case against Mahua Moitra has taken one sensational turn after another. Accused businessman Darshan Hiranandani in a bombshell letter has now claimed that yes, he bribed Mahua for raising Adani-related questions in Parliament. But it is Darshan Hiranandani's mention of using the MP login that stirred a hornet's nest. The businessman in his letter claimed he used Mahua's login several times into the Parliament internal site to post queries that he wanted her to ask. Darshan in his letter said, and I quote, "I continue to draft and post questions using her parliamentary login whenever needed." But the TMC MP has hit back, alleging that the Prime Minister's office forced him to sign a white paper that was later leaked to media. Mahua further alleged that it's BJP government's bid to shut her up on the Adani issue.
In the face of slew of allegations, Trinamool Congress firebrand MP Mahua Moitra remains defiant. She has said in a statement that she is willing to face any investigation, be it by the Central Bureau of Investigation or a probe conducted by the Ethics Committee of the Parliament.
The allegations against Mahua are now before the ethics panel in Parliament, which will decide on whether action must be taken against the TMC MP.
देखिए अभी सबसे पहले दोनों लोगों ने जिन्होंने कंप्लेंट किया है, दोनों लोगों को 26 तारीख को ही बुलाया गया है, ठीक है। उसके बाद अभी हिरानंदानी जी का एफिडेविट आया, उसको भी एग्जामिन करेंगे। एग्जामिन करने के बाद आवश्यकता महसूस होगी तो निश्चित रूप से महua मोइत्रा को भी सम्मन किया जाएगा।
The BJP meanwhile has lashed out at Mamta, accusing her of a serious breach of trust.
महुआ जी गरीब के वोट से सांसद बनकर पार्लियामेंट में अमीर के एजेंट के रूप में काम करने के लिए वो आई थी। वो लोकतंत्र के लिए, पार्लियामेंट के लिए, अपने पूरे पार्लियामेंट्री सिस्टम के लिए ये शोभा नहीं देती है इस प्रकार का व्यवहार।
અને seriously condemn this type of unethical practices by the TMC. She always loudly said against Honorable PM on the floor of the Parliament. Lok Sabha Ethics Committee should take appropriate action as early as possible.
So far, the TMC seems to have distanced themselves from the cash for query storm. Sources have told India Today that TMC has adopted a wait-and-watch policy before jumping to Mahua's defense. Mahua's attempt at getting legal relief via defamation case hit a roadblock as her counsel withdrew from the case, after the complainant alleged that Mahua's lawyer called him and attempted to convince him to drop the case.
I had reached out to him yesterday, that is correct, and had asked him, look, is there any way of exploring a settlement? That's all that the conversation was about. Jai had said he'd get back to me. He didn't get back to me. Today when I appeared, Jai personally said he had an objection to me appearing. I immediately withdrew and I said I don't want to do this case.
As Mahua's fate will be sealed by the Parliament Ethics Panel, the allegations of kickbacks or favours has led to an all-out political showdown. Bureau Report, India Today.
I want to quickly bring in my colleague Poulomi Saha into the conversation. Poulomi, the leaked affidavit letter, which now we heard Mr. Sonkar, the chairman of the Ethics Committee, he says, of course, Mahua Moitra will be called, and if needed, then Mr. Hiranandani will also be called. But if you go into the word, of the letter, the words on how it's been framed, it does say that Mr. Hiranandani did pay for the renovation of Mahua Moitra's office. He gave her expensive gifts because he wanted to be on the right side of her. He also makes one of the most, startling claims where he said she shared her password with him. But nowhere in the letter does he say that he bribed Mahua to raise these questions.
No, he doesn't say that he bribed her. He did say that he first helped her out in the first instance when he claims, wanted to gain national, spotlight after she became a member of parliament in 2019. She was advised that the best way to do that would probably be to target Prime Minister Narendra Modi directly. But given his impeccable record, it was then suggested that she target Gautam Adani, who hailed from the same state of Gujarat, had close business ties as well in terms of, enjoy the government's favor. And that's when she went ahead and, because she had already established personal relations and close contact with Darshan Hiranandani since 2017, she decided to target Mr. Adani in the Dhamra LNG project. He supplied her with the questions. He helped her out with the questions that she should pose. She made quite the splash because of the questions that she posed for that first time on Gautam Adani. It was appreciated by opposition benches. The media publications as well carried it. That's when, of course, she said, why don't you go ahead and start giving me more questions? I'm going to target Gautam Adani, and then provided him with her parliament login credentials so that he could directly use that in order to pose questions through the Lok Sabha website, which he claims he did. Of course, later he says that she was very demanding and, she was one of those who would basically demand things in a way which was drop everything and do it right now in my time. So, yes, he did give her a lot of expensive luxury items, sponsored travel expenses, holidays, also renovated her officially allocated bungalow at 9B Telegraph Lane here in New Delhi as well. So not a direct quid pro quo, but he did say that she demanded these things of him, and because he didn't want to displease her, because already he was gaining some access through her, because she was close to opposition leaders like Rahul Gandhi, like Pinaki Mishra, like Shashi Tharoor. He was making inroads business-wise. He thought it made a lot of sense to, in fact, hobnob with these opposition leaders through Mahua Moitra. He did not exactly deny her requests or demands.
Well, Poulomi, appreciate you joining us for that quick update. Right now, the Ethics Committee is going to take the matter over and we'll keep a keen eye on all developments and break it down for our viewers. As Poulomi Saha, my colleague, explained, there were no direct charges in the letter of quid pro quo. Nowhere in this letter does Mr. Hiranandani state that he bribed Mahua Moitra to raise certain questions in Parliament targeting the Adani group. However, he does make it very clear that she did share her password with her. More so, he says that he gave her expensive gifts over time. But what would be the most damning for Mahua Moitra in all of this is if it is established that the password was shared. How much trouble does Mahua Moitra find herself in if this charge is proven at all? Because she's very clear, she's called this political vendetta and a witch hunt. Joining me now is Mr. Preeti Choudhary, former Lok Sabha Secretary General. Sir, appreciate you joining us. We also have Nigat Appa, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party, Sanjay Jha, political analyst. But I want to first cut across to Mr. Preeti Choudhary, if our political panelists allow me. Mr. Choudhary, the fact is, in that letter per se, though you have Mr. Hiranandani state very clearly that he did give her expensive gifts, he paid, or he alleges that he paid for the renovation of her new office in Delhi, he nowhere says that he bribed her to raise the questions. But the charge of sharing the password, is that enough to cause trouble where Mahua Moitra comes into question? What is the relevance of that?
Now, sharing the password with another person in the context of the parliamentary work, is an unethical conduct. You cannot do that because the parliament has put a certain trust in the members when they they can put questions and other things on that portal. So only the members are responsible for keeping it confidential. And if they share this with somebody else, so naturally, it is an unethical kind of conduct on the part of the members, and there is no doubt about it. If it is proved, that is the. So at the moment, these are all allegations. So
right.
These allegations will have to be proved. But if it is proved, then in my view, this may be an unethical conduct.
Mr. Choudhary, is it enough to show that she shared the password and that is enough to say that there was an ethical breach? Or does one need to prove that she shared the password because she was, it was quid pro quo involved, or she was being bribed to raise these questions, therefore she shared the password? Or just sharing the password is enough, to say that this is a breach of ethics?
Well, here, if you are asking me about the breach of privilege.
Yes.
Breach of privilege is a very settled law. And if a member of parliament takes money for, say, putting a question or presenting a bill or raising a discussion and things like that, then that amounts to corruption, and that would be a serious breach of privilege of the House. And the breach of privilege can be looked into by the Privileges Committee, Parliament, not Ethics Committee. Normally, the cases involving breach of privilege are examined by the Privileges Committee and not Ethics Committee. And then if it is a breach of privilege, if it is proved as a breach of privilege, then of course there will be serious consequences. It can lead to suspension, it can lead to expulsion, and so on, depending on the gravity of the offense.
But sir, it's going to be heard right now, as per the Speaker has referred it to the Ethics Committee and not the Privilege Committee. So what will now come under the purview of the Ethics Committee?
The Ethics Committee can look into, as I said in the beginning, about the sharing of the password with somebody else so that he could put questions and all that. But these are all interlinked. You cannot separate one aspect from this issue and then deal with it separately, because these are all interlinked. Sharing the password, after that putting questions now, and then getting favors for putting questions and things like that. These are all interlinked. And therefore, in my view, this whole matter can be looked into by the Privileges Committee and not the Ethics Committee. That's my personal view.
Right. So you say it should have been looked into by the Privilege Committee, not the Ethics Committee. But because now the Ethics Committee, the speakers referred the matter to the Ethics Committee, the question is also, is the affidavit enough? Because, to give some background, 2 days ago, you had Mr. Darshan Hiranandani who said that all these allegations were false, and then there was an affidavit which was, of course, leaked to the press, and that affidavit has been submitted to the Ethics Committee. The question I want to ask you is that affidavit enough to level these allegations, or a proper detailed investigation will now take place to see whether or not, there was criminal conspiracy involved?
No, they need to go into this. They should examine all the connected people and the evidence which is available, either in the written form or maybe as statements from people, or the committee can examine anybody who has knowledge about the issue. There are different ways in which the committee can get at the truth.
Well, if the Ethics Committee, my final question, sir, finds Mahua Moitra guilty of unethical behavior, what action can it take?
Looking at the past, the Ethics Committee can suggest, suspension of the member for a certain period. Just I will give you one example. A member of parliament, had taken his girlfriend, personating her as his wife, on a tour. It was an official tour, and he was caught. And then this matter was referred to the this Ethics Committee. Ethics Committee, on examination, found him guilty, and then suggested a punishment of suspension for 30 days, 30 sittings for the House. And also, the committee suggested that he may be forbidden to take his spouse or companion or anybody in his tour till the end of that Lok Sabha. So that is the way that committee, deals with issues.
Just one final question, Mr. Achari. Can the Ethics Committee suggest a disqualification of the member in question, or is it limited to suspension?
So it normally takes maybe 1 month or 2 months or 3 months or whatever, depending upon the nature of the case. If they want to get more evidence, for example, in this particular case, they want to get more evidence, then naturally they will take more time. That's how it is.
Is disqualification an option, Mr. Achari, of Mahua Moitra?
No, not at all.
All right, so disqualification is not an option for the Ethics Committee. It would be limited to suspension. Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Preeti Choudhary. I want to quickly cut across to our guest this evening. I have with me Ms. Nighat Abbas, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party, as well as Sanjay Jha. Nighat Abbas, the BJP is adamant that this is criminal conspiracy, but it still needs to be proven because the same man who has now leaked this affidavit 2 days ago had alleged this was all false.
I'd heard about the human trafficking racket. I'd heard about the kidnappers racket. I'd also heard about the child labor racket. But for the first time, I'm hearing about a racket of questionnaire in exchange of a lot of money and luxury items. And I must say, Preeti, that it is not only about Mahua Moitra. It is also about the entire opposition who's been standing at the democracy's threshold and constantly heckling with the dignity of the parliament and democracy. It is very sad that lately we've been seeing that in exchange of money, how opposition is forced and literally very desperate to defame the Adani Group. But apparently the same Adani Group completely stands clean when it comes to the same Adani Group investing in the states which are being run by the opposition parties right now. We've seen how lately Rahul Gandhi had held a press conference, and in the morning the best friend of Rahul Gandhi, Mr. George Soros, had invested in a company called organization called OCCRP, and they had published an article against Adani Group. These people have been compromising with the dignity of the parliament. They have been compromising with the chair of member of parliament. Also, they've been compromising with the confidential information of the parliament and also with the trust of people. They've been manipulating their line of work and constantly heckling with the trust. Right now, what we see is something which has never been seen in the past. And what we need to look at is that in the future, none of the questions which are
Nighat Abbas, number one, it's been seen in the past. No, 1 second. Nighat Abbas, let me raise a point and you come back, ma'am. Number one, it's happened in the past. There were 11 MPs that were disqualified. But the second question I want to ask you, these are allegations where there has been exchange of cash for questions. Where does in the affidavit that has been leaked of Mr. Hiranandani, does it state that he bribed her to raise these questions?
He has clearly mentioned that he had already given a lot of gifts, and he had given the gifts to Mahua Moitra in a pressure, which clearly is evident enough that yes, she has been bribed. If not, the
bribe is quid
person
pro quo. What did he get out of it?
Okay. We can that they know better, that they can explain better that what he and what she got out of that. I am nobody to answer, but what I can say right now is that in future, when the opposition is going to raise more questions in the parliament, sorry to say, but the people are forced not to believe. Nobody is going to take seriously any of the questions which are going to be raised by the opposition in the parliament. And now I also would say that maybe the number of tweets they do, the number of bites they give in the media houses, they might be being paid by the number of businessmen and a number of other political parties.
But Ms. Azmi, as I bring in Sanjay Jha, I want to also say, in that case, then those 11 MPs that were disqualified a fair while ago, most of them were from the BJP. So that would mean that nothing should be believed by the BJP. This has to be case by case. But having said that, Sanjay Jha, I want to bring you into this conversation. The sheer fact, Sanjay Jha, leave alone everything, every allegation. If Mahua Moitra has shared her password with Mr. Hiranandani, that in itself makes her culpable.
Well, Preeti, good evening. I'm no one to make a comment on it, but the larger narrative is this. It is very sad and tragic and also laughable how Mr. Modi's government and the BJP has become lawyers for Gautam Adani. I mean, it's a sham of India's democracy. I mean, every spokesperson seems like they're a paid lawyer for Mr. Adani. Here are a couple of points. I want to name, Preeti, for your information and for your viewers, 5 people who have been very vocal when they have talked about Gautam Adani's group and its quid pro quo relationship, allegedly, with the Prime Minister's charitable disposition. Rahul Gandhi, he got disqualified. Sanjay Singh got arrested. Paranjoy Guha Thakurta got interrogated. You have Mahua Moitra at the moment slandered. You have Sucheta Dalal, who also now has been apparently accused of all kinds of misdemeanors. Strange coincidence. If you really want to know, I think the truth is this, and I don't think the BJP spokesperson is probably aware, but the markets, both domestic and international, have sent a message that they believe that there is something terribly wrong with what has been happening with the government's very active intervention in the growth of the Adani business empire. And take it from me, one day it is all going to surface, and I hope it will happen in 2024. Preeti, here is my last point. There are 2 things I read in Mahua's affidavit. And it's really true. I've been part of a ruling dispensation pre-2014 and part of the opposition since 2014. I can tell you this for a fact. No business group in this country, and I live in Bombay or Mumbai, and I know a lot of industrialists and businessmen in this city. No industrialist or businessman in the age or the culture of political vendetta, which this government we all know is legendary and known for, will dare to engage with an opposition member to fight their case anywhere, because they will then probably be a target of the ED CBI IT story. Here is my larger point, and a challenge to the BJP through your show. The real corruption and crony capitalism, Preeti, will be known the day India discovers, and they will one day, who are the people who fund BJP in electoral bonds.
All right. Nikat Abbas. Okay, I'm running. Sanjay, I apologize. We had Mr. Preeti Choudhary at the last minute. So, we're running really short of time because he's an expert and we needed to bring him in. But Nikat Abbas, the fact is, many would also suggest that this is corporate sniping and the shoulder is Mahua Moitra.
No, absolutely not. We've seen that how, desperately these people have been constantly heckling with the industrialists and the businessman Adani group. It's not about, I am trying to support and trying to stand him clean, but it's also about that why is that TMC has not come up with an official statement in the favor of Mahua Moitra? Why is that Adani group completely stands clean when it comes to him investing in the states like Bengal? Lately he did, and in different states run by opposition parties, like in Rajasthan also he did. Then how come is he wahan to kadwa kadwa tu aur meetha meetha wa wa? So how can you do that? How can you be so manipulative? It is all also about that, we've seen in the past also that there have been exchange of money with Rahul Gandhi, Jyotiros, OCCRP, Ravi Nair, the published articles against him. It is all about that propaganda and agenda which has already been said. They have made a plotted plan, and they are trying to implement through Mahua Moitra
All right.
and
Okay, that all needs to be proven. Okay, these are allegations. Nigat Abbas, the fact is these are allegations. They need to be proven where the Ethics Committee is concerned. We had an expert who said that it should have gone to the Privilege Committee. But we leave it at that. We're going to keep a keen eye. I apologize to you both. You did not have the say that you wanted. We just had a guest at the last final minute, Mr. Preeti Choudhary, and he's a constitutional expert in terms of process. We needed to speak to him. But we're going to keep a keen eye on all developments and the fallout of this. In terms of support, TMC silent where Mahua Moitra is concerned. The RJD and the Congress have actually spoken up for her. A quick break. Up next, Rahul Kama.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest, Be Sustainable Change, a BNP Group company.
As Moon walked into my interview, I don't think there's any need of introduction. Welcome to Delhi, Tiger.
Happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Since you're in Delhi, what do you like the most about this city? I would like to know.
The food, the people in the food. दिल्ली वाले खासकर बहुत खुल के देते हर चीज़, चाहे वो प्यार हो या जिस तरह वो अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस करते हैं, जिस तरह वो बात करते हैं. I really like the fact that they're very upfront. Yeah.
Talking about food, what does your cheat meal look like?
A cheat meal looks like anything sweet. I have a major sweet tooth, so it's very tough for me to control sweets. But anything from ice creams to chocolates to desserts to mithai, सब कुछ mix करके खा लेता हूँ because I only have once a week, so I really go at it on a Sunday. Otherwise, my regular routine is quite basic. I wake up and I do my cardiovascular activity. In the evening, I do my strength training or anything to do with my skills. Yeah.
And I've also seen Mr. Bachchan in the trailer. I would like to ask you, if there is one thing that you would like to steal, one quality of him, what would that be?
It's tough to steal only one quality from Mr. Bachchan. There's so much to take, so much to learn from, so much to absorb. But if I had to say one quality, then I'd say his relentless approach to doing the small things every day, that tend to get monotonous for most of us, but how he religiously does it. It's the small things you do every day that, count in the larger picture. And I think he's a living prime example of that. He's just so disciplined in his routine and he's just so hungry even now. And I think that's something that's very inspiring. And I aspire to be like that someday.
मिस्टर निंदाली उन्होंने ये आरोप लगाया और ये आरोप कितना सच है कितना झूठ है वो तो इंक्वायरी से पता चलेगा, लेकिन ये सामने आ रहा है कि एक बिजनेस ग्रुप को, अदानी ग्रुप को टारगेट किया गया क्योंकि अदानी ग्रुप गुजरात से है, मोदी जी भी गुजराती है, इसलिए टारगेट किया गया. 60 में से 51 क्वेश्चन यानी लगभग 90% क्वेश्चन अदानी ग्रुप के ऊपर पूछा गया महुआ मोइत्रा द्वारा और उसका लॉगिन आईडी निंदाली को दिया गया था. उन्होंने ही खुद से घुसकर वो क्वेश्चन किया. पूरी चीज सामने आ चुकी है. इसकी इंक्वायरी होनी चाहिए और महुआ मोइत्रा पर कार्रवाई भी होनी चाहिए. इसे प्रिविलेज ऑफ ब्रीच.
Serious allegation. Why चलছে কি হাত ধরে তুলে? Same fool that she is elected from Bengal. We all are Bengali. We all are Bengali people. And seriously condemn this type of unethical practices by the TMC.
Defaming the PM.
She always loudly said against Honorable PM on the floor of the Parliament.
Lok Sabha Ethics Committee যাকে দেখেছে, Lok Sabha Ethics Committee যাকে দেখেছে.
Lok Sabha Ethics Committee should take appropriate action as early as possible.
You are watching India Today, powered by Finest Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
Angry protests flare up across the world over the Israel-Hamas war. Donned in black shirts emblazoned with the words, Jews say, ceasefire now. Hundreds of primarily Jewish protesters on Wednesday took to Capitol Hill, urging US President Joe Biden to push for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Several protesters were detained by the police. Signs with slogans such as Stop Genocide and Stop US Aid to Israel appeared at a pro-Palestinian rally by students and teachers near the Empire State Building in New York. Hundreds who took to the streets in support of Gaza clashed with Lebanese security forces in a suburb of Beirut near the United States Embassy. Riot police lobbed dozens of tear gas canisters and fired water cannons to disperse the protesters in the intense standoff. Turkish protesters staged fresh anti-Israel demonstrations. Several demonstrators tried to overcome security barricades in order to enter the Israeli consulate in Istanbul. Chanting full-throated slogans, Greeks marched in Athens in support of both Israel and Palestine. Hundreds of pro-Palestinian demonstrators flooded the streets of Italy's capital, Rome, to hold a candle vigil for victims of Gaza hospital blast.
It's important to support Palestine. It's important to recognize that this is a genocide and we cannot stand for it.
In the West Bank, Palestinians clashed with Israeli forces. Similar scenes were seen in Iraq's Baghdad, London, Sana'a in Yemen, and Cairo in Egypt. As the war between Israel and Hamas rages, the global divide is deepening every day. Bureau Report, India Today.
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 31 and minimum 20 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 32 and minimum 28 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 31 and minimum 22 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 29 and minimum 20 degrees. Chennai, maximum 30 and minimum 26 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 31 and minimum 21 degrees.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. You are watching India Today, powered by Finest Be Sustainable Change, a B&P Group company.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, growing legacies.
Co-presented by Century Laminates by Manish Malhotra, fashion for your furniture.
Co-presented by Macho Hind, बड़े आराम से.
Co-powered by PolicyBazaar.com, हर family होगी insured. Co-powered by The Bold Look of Kohler. Kirloskar.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching this week's edition of the Political Stock Exchange, and today we are focusing on the battleground state of Telangana. Till before the Karnataka elections, Telangana seemed one-way traffic in favor of Chief Minister KCR and his party, the BRS. Things now, though, seem a lot more interesting. Who has his nose in front? Who's trailing? What does Telangana look like right now? We'll get you the results of the Sea Voter Telangana opinion poll in this edition of the Political Stock Exchange.
రైతు బాంధవునికి చావు పులేంట మహారాష్ట్ర ధన సముదాయానికి